Hello wonderful world, Elaine here, and welcome to a Love Letter to the Scottish Highlands travel vlog. So if this is your first time here, I am currently living in Scotland to get my master's degree, and my family came and visited. They actually left yesterday. So my family came to visit and I met up with them in London, and then we went to Edinburgh, and then we did the Scottish Highlands and ended in Glasgow, which is where I have been living for the past year. So while we were in the Highlands, it just really dawned on me how much of me I'm going to leave behind in Scotland when I go back home in a very short month, and just how much Scotland means to me now. And so I did a lot of journaling on this trip, and I also did a lot of vlogging, but I didn't really talk to the camera much. I mostly just filmed, my family and landscapes, and I wanted to try to put something together, and so I decided that I would make this. It's kind of like a travel diary. So I've got my journal here with all these flowers in it that I'm gonna take out for this. But I wanted to read some parts of my journal, and I kind of wrote this love letter to the Scottish Highlands that I wanted to share alongside all the videos. So yeah, I'm gonna read it and show you the gorgeous landscapes of Scotland, and kind of talk about what I did. So yeah. A love letter to the Scottish Highlands. To your hills and your lochs, the rolling fog and purple flowers, the sun sparkling on the water and the rain dampening my hair. No matter how many times I visit, I could never grow tired of your beauty. This time, I got to bring my family along. I got to show them a place where I truly do believe magic could exist. We rode the Jacobite steam train. I ordered a butterbeer hot chocolate and pretended that I was on my way to Hogwarts. We rode over the famous viaduct, and I felt like I was finally leaving my world behind to enter a fantasy one. My family is all huge Harry Potter fans, so riding the steam train was just such a magical, cool experience, especially for my dad. He was so excited to see like a steam train in real life. But actually, I don't even think it was like the steam engine. I think they had to use a diesel engine to pull the steam train carts, so it wasn't exactly the Hogwarts Express, but it was close enough to pretend. And we all kept saying, quotes like, "You're doing magic, let's see then," or "anything from the trolley." We just kept quoting it the whole time, and it was such a fun experience to get to share with them. One that I had actually never done before. I've been to the Highlands quite a few times, but I'd never ridden a train across the viaduct, so that was really, really cool. Looking out at the Scottish landscape, I felt the magic. In the tall grass under the pewter rocks, perhaps in the deep waters, I do think I could find fairies dancing and hiding. I do think if I touched the right standing stones, I could get sent back in time. Magic must exist here. How else could one place have inspired so many stories? Why else would so many people dream of one day visiting here? Why else would I plunge my face into the cold water of the Isle of Skye? Okay, side note, on this tour that we did, we had a tour guide who told us a lot of stories, and he talked to us about, the myth, if you hold your face in the water for 7 seconds, you will get eternal beauty from these fairies. But if you leave it in too long, you'll come up ugly like a Shrek ogre. Okay, well, my dad, turns out, he was asleep the entire time the tour guide was telling us this story. And we get to this lake in the Isle of Skye, and we're all sticking our face in the water for 7 seconds, and I asked my dad, I was like, "Dad, are you gonna do this?" And he was like, "Sure, I guess." So him and my mom went together, and afterwards my dad comes over and he was like, "Why the heck are we doing this?" Like, he had no idea why we were sticking our face in the water. He just wanted to do it because everyone else was doing it, and I find that hilarious. Like, man just stuck his face in the Isle of Skye water, not knowing what was gonna happen or why we were doing that at all. He just thought people were sticking their face in the water. So we keep joking that he's now gonna be Shrek, which he already could be Shrek, so. Dad accidentally came up as Shrek. Okay, now me and Anna are gonna have eternal beauty and also get to go to ACOTAR. I do often think about what it was like to live here in a different time, in a different age. Surely they too were swept up by the magic and beauty. There's tons of poetry to prove it. It is so easy to romanticize this place. How could you not? But we must also remember the war, the fighting, the bloodshed, women burned at the stake accused of being witches, families forced to hide their own culture. But despite these stains, and maybe because of the pain, Scotland has remained proud, bold. It carries the stories of its ancestors while welcoming new visitors like me. I do feel like I have totally been welcomed here. I did have one TikTok that got some haters. For the most part, everyone has been super welcoming, and I feel like especially in Glasgow, people are so kind, and it's in a different way than America because people do not smile at you on the street. Small talk is not a huge thing here, but if I need help or have questions, I feel like anyone is willing to help. I don't know, even just my parents being here, people would hear our accents and ask us questions, and that's not a common experience in Europe, especially as someone who solo traveled a lot. I often think that, like when I was in Vienna, I went by myself and I was getting lunch somewhere, and I am this girl with an American accent by myself. I've worked in hospitality, I've worked as a server, and I usually would ask people oh, what are you doing here? They do not care in Europe, okay? They don't really do small talk. And I personally love small talk, I'm a yapper, and so I do feel like in Glasgow people are more likely to engage with you in conversations and talk about your home versus their home, and I do really like that, and I feel like I've been really welcomed here. I've learned a lot about Scotland and its traditions, and people are willing to share those with you, which I think is really cool and special. One of my favorite spots on this tour was a stop we did at a rewilding center. We learned how people are trying to reconnect with the trees to make Scotland as wild as it once was. People here seem passionate about their home, their history, about acknowledging the past and celebrating what the future could hold. The future. I often get nervous about my own future. One day very soon, I will leave Scotland. I will turn the page, starting a new chapter in my life, and I am terrified. What could top Scotland? What could top this beauty around me? I will leave a piece of my heart here in Scotland, but the rest of it is waiting for me back home with my friends and family. And I'll always have Scotland, I'll always have these memories, even when my life returns to the ordinary. Most of life is ordinary. It's sunrises in the morning and sunsets in the evenings. It's the wind in your hair and the mud on your boots. It's the daily commute to work and the alarm you snoozed twice. But there is comfort in these familiarities and beauty in these small sights. By constantly searching for more and more, we can miss out on the wee wonders right in front of our very faces. And when things are hard and life feels impossible, there's always the sunsets and sunrises, the mud and the wind, your alarm and your daily commute. These will always be there to comfort you. I know that most of life isn't the magic, adventure, and romance I see in the movies. I might not be a Claire or a Merida, a Harry or a Frodo, but I will say, hiking up the Old Man of Storr, watching the fog roll in over the hills, feeling the rain on my exposed skin, looking around to see the gorgeous landscapes around me, I feel as though I could be the lead in a magical romantic adventure movie. So thank you, Scotland, for letting me believe that. Thank you for giving me these feelings, for letting me call you home even for just a short time. Thank you for letting me finally share your beauty with my family. Like I said, a piece of my heart will always remain here. So that's my love letter to Scotland and the Scottish Highlands. I just think that this is such a beautiful country with beautiful people who are really proud of their heritage and who they are and their stories, and they're willing to share those stories with you. As long as you come here, with an openness and, respect for nature and the people here and their culture and traditions, I don't know, I just think I'm gonna really miss it here, and I'm really glad that I got to share a piece of my life here with my family, because I feel like recently there's kind of been two versions of me. There's this Elaine getting her master's degree in Scotland, living alone, and then there's this Elaine from Kentucky who was living with her parents, working full-time, and there's kind of these two versions. And whenever I had gone back home to visit during this experience, it's kind of like I was putting Scottish Elaine on hold, and my parents finally got a glimpse of what my life was like here, and they got to meet some of my friends. And that was just a really special experience. Yeah, I'm really scared and sad to leave Scotland, but I am really excited to see what's next for me. But like I wrote in my journal, I do need to get better at just chilling and embracing the ordinary. Not every day is going to be me hiking in the Highlands. And in fact, a lot of life here isn't like that. It's me working on my dissertation or doing homework, or I've got an internship, so I'm going to the office. And most of life is those kinds of moments, and it's important to pause and recognize the beauty in those moments rather than just the big, cool, exciting things, because yeah, we should celebrate those, but we also need to celebrate the little small things that happen right in front of our very eyes that make us, you know, see the beauty of the world. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching. I hope wherever you are, you're doing oh so well. If you want to stick around, I like to make a lot of content about books and writing and travel. But if not, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Boop. What'd you just say?
I said I wanted to know what kind of tree it was. Oh, it's a monkey puzzle tree from Chile.